Hello and welcome to the day ahead. It is Tuesday, March the 24th. I'm Andrew Gagan. The local market is set to rally at the open with ASX futures up 1.8%. This follows a relief rally on global equity markets overnight after President Trump postponed a threat to bomb Iran's power grid because of what he described as productive talks with Iran, a claim Iranian officials have dismissed as fake news. President Trump's decision saw oil prices plunge more than 10%, buoying investor sentiment as the so-called taco trade, Trump always chickens out, played out on Wall Street. The volatility index retreating after earlier hitting its highest level in 2 weeks. Airline and travel stocks jumped as the price of oil fell, with shares in cruise ship operators also soaring. The banks, which had weakened during the conflict, gained ground, with the S&P 500 banking index showing its biggest daily gain since before the war. Tesla shares accelerated after Chief Executive Elon Musk said the EV maker and SpaceX will build 2 advanced chip factories in Austin, Texas. Palantir Technologies climbed on news that the Pentagon will lock in long-term use and funding for the company's weapons targeting technology across the US military. Synopsys shares surged after activist investor Elliott Investment revealed it has a multi-billion-dollar investment in the electronic design automation firm. And US-listed shares of Rio and BHP tracked the copper price higher. Well, Iran has denied that it's been negotiating with the United States after President Trump postponed a threat to bomb Iran's power grid because of what he described as productive talks with Iranian officials. He said, "We have had very, very strong talks. We'll see where they lead. We have major points of agreement." I would say almost all points of agreement. Well, European officials said that while there had been no direct negotiations between the two nations, Egypt, Pakistan and Gulf states were relaying messages. In a statement, Iran's parliamentary speaker has said no negotiations have been held with the US and fake news is used to manipulate the financial and oil markets and escape the quagmire in which the US and Israel are trapped. Well, US Treasury yields retreated from multi-month highs after President Trump said he had ordered a 5-day pause on all strikes against Iranian power plants and energy infrastructure. The US 2-year Treasury yield fell to 3.79%, the 10-year was lower at 4.3%. Australian 3-year government bond yields fell to 4.69%, while the 10-year was down to 5.03%. The US dollar index is down around 0.5% on the day. The Aussie is at 70.1 US cents. Oil prices dropped about 11% after President Trump chose to de-escalate the conflict with Iran. Crude futures plunging almost 15% earlier in the session, but pared some of those losses after Iran said it had launched new attacks on Israel and other sites in the Middle East and denied that Tehran had engaged in negotiations with the US. Brent futures about 11% lower, settling at $100 a barrel. Gold trimmed losses to recover from a 4-month low. Spot gold down almost 2% at around $4,400 an ounce. Copper has rebounded more than 2%, while iron ore is little changed at $111 a tonne, and Bitcoin is close to $71,000. Ahead locally today, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen is due to meet Prime Minister Anthony Albanese to discuss the EU-Australia free trade deal. That is today ahead. We'll see you again tomorrow.